Welcome to Turning Your Classroom with Video Discussions. Our presenter today is Ryan Lett, and I'm so excited to have Ryan back. And I am your host today, Anne Marie Molinari Sanders, and I am joined today by Ashley Winkle. So thank you so much, Ashley, for being here. All right, so this is always my favorite screen, as those of you know. I love introducing our presenters because these are our rock stars in the field, right? Presenting this morning is Miss Ryan Lett, and Miss Lett has over 12 years of experience working with adult students. She is a program specialist with Richardson ISD, Adult Education and Literacy. She transitioned to adult education after serving as a parent liaison and then a family engagement specialist coordinating adult education activities for 20 Richardson ISD schools. Currently, Ryan serves as the program specialist, as I said, for Richardson ISD Adult Education and Literacy Program. As part of the leadership team, she specializes in program management, curriculum development, and instructional coaching. And I may add also that Ryan Lett is part of our Standards 3.0 Trainers of Trainers that goes out and trains teachers on the new standards. So I want to welcome Ryan back. Take it away, Ryan. It's all yours.
Thank you so much. I always love your welcome introductions. Makes me feel so warm. But yes, so thank you for having me here. And as you mentioned, we will be talking about Flipgrid today. So I just wanted to have my camera on so that I could say hello to everyone as we get started. I'm going to turn it off and then put my presentation on the screen. And so today we are talking about turning your classroom with video discussions, and we'll be talking about using the platform of Flipgrid. So let's talk about what Flipgrid is. So Flipgrid is what the website itself describes as a social learning video discussion platform that allows you to empower every voice. And I thought that was really interesting of the word that they use, empowering. And as we go through this training and you learn more about Flipgrid, kind of thinking in the back of your mind how you are empowering your students when you're able to use a discussion platform like this, giving them that opportunity to fully participate without any interruption in a discussion and to share through their creativity. And so you go into some of the features of Flipgrid. So some of the features of Flipgrid are that you're able to create groups. And so it also does integrate with Google Classroom or Canvas if you do use those platforms to manage your classes. You're able to post topics or questions that will be specific to each of your groups. Your participants can access Flipgrid through a link, a QR code, or a unique join code. And then you're able to customize and post videos and your students up to 10 minutes in length, which is quite a long time when you're talking about videos. And there's a lot of customizable post features that you can access within the videos and when you're setting up your topics. And most of all, it's free. It is free. And so let's talk about some of our objectives because we do have a lot that we want to cover today. And so for the most part, I would say that Flipgrid is and can be user-friendly, but there are a lot of components to it. And so if you're not familiar with video posting or video posting features, I want to make sure that we have the time to not only talk through the platform, but also walk through it, and then for you to be able to participate in a demo so you can actually feel it. So those are our objectives today. We're going to talk through that application. We'll go through a walkthrough where we'll show you the website and all of the things that we actually just talked about, and then have you participate in a hands-on demonstration of Flipgrid. So first, let's make sure that before I go too far, we have some of the terminology that Flipgrid uses, and so that we're all on the same page, because all of these apps kind of term things differently when you're using them, but they mean the same thing. So when you're in Flipgrid, it has you create a group. A group is just another word for creating your class or a learner community or that specific group of participants. So they call them groups. You create a group, or you would name it your class if it's GED or reading, what have you. Member A member is the person that is added as an authorized participant of a group. In other words, it's your student. And then topic, you'll create topics, and topics are your discussion prompts. So how will you ignite the conversation? So you'll hear me as I'm talking, I will use terms interchangeably. I might say class, but I mean group, and group means class. It's the same thing. I'll say member or student, member and student in terms of Flipgrid are the same thing. So just kind of knowing how they use the terminology and what it means. And so that way we're all together as we continue on through our session together. So the first thing I want to talk about is the member view or the student view. And so when a student joins or logs into the group, what they see are all the topics that have been created for that group. So those are all the topics or discussions that have been created for that group. They can watch the posted videos. They can add a response to the topic, so they can respond directly to the initial topic question. And then they can comment on other member videos, either in text or video format, as well as give likes to responses. We all know about likes and hearts and all that. So here's an image. This is a screenshot of what a member dashboard looks like. So when a student or member logs into the group, and this is what it will look like. And so if you've never seen or participated in a Flipgrid before, this is the outcome that we're looking at. So as an instructor on the instructor side, what is it that we're going to create? And that outcome is this. It's our dashboard. It's the topic. It's what our students are going to post to. It's where they're going to host that particular discussion for that particular topic. And I want to just point out a couple of things. So at the top, you have the group information. So this is the name of the group. It's a Flipgrid Tech and Tell. And I'm taking this from the demo that you'll participate in later. So you will see this again. So at the top, you'll see the name of the group. You also see the instructor. So that is me and my little avatar. How many videos have been posted to this group? And then the number of hours of discussion that are in that particular group. Under here, you have the topic. So the number of topics in the group. And so right now there's only one topic we see. And then this is where you would click that topic to view the videos and respond. So if there were multiple topics, you would see multiple boxes like this. But for this demo, there's only one in this group right now. So again, this is the member dashboard, and this is what a participant will see or a student will see when they are joining your Flipgrid group. The next part are the topic feed, or is the topic feed. So once they've clicked that topic that we saw from the previous slide, this is what will show up. And once you click that topic, this is what's in the discussion feed. So let me start from the top again. So you have your topic details, right? So this is the title of the topic, Tech and Tell Flipgrid demo, and a description of what that topic is about. So this is where you would put, if it's a specific prompt, what you want them to discuss, the details of that. You would put all of that information here. So you have a brief description describing to you what this particular topic is about. You can also include a video or picture or text only of an explanation of that topic. So I included an additional video, and the video could be a demonstration of what you would expect the students to post, or anything that you think would go along with helping facilitate the discussion for that particular topic. The next part is where the student or member can add their response to this topic question or discussion question. So they click that blue button, and then they are able to start recording and creating their video response to that topic question. And then you have your part down here where you have all of your responses. And so for our demo, there are currently, as I mentioned, only 3 videos so far in there, and you can see those videos, watch them, and then respond to this. So this would be where their peers or classmates or the other members in that group are posting their videos, and that discussion is happening because you have your initial responses as well as your students who are able to then make comments on their peers' responses as well. So let's talk about creating that Flipgrid as an instructor. So we just saw the pictures of what the outcome is, what it is that we're trying to get to of creating that discussion for our students. So what do we need to do as instructors to get to that point? And so firstly, you're going to have to, of course, log in or create an account. So you can create an account using a Gmail address. That's usually, I say, the easiest when they have that Gmail option that you are logged in immediately. But you create your account, and the first thing you'll do is create a group. And then you're going to need to add members to that group. There are 3 ways that you can invite or add members to your group. You can email invite. So if you have like an EDU email and there's members or students within your organization that have that same EDU email, you can add that, or you can email invite. Another way is for teacher created usernames. So this would be where you enter your student names, John Doe, Jane Doe, and then give them a username that they can log in. And you can also upload a list as well. And we'll talk about that. Or if you do use Google Classroom to manage your students, you can connect your Flipgrid account to your Google Classroom and pull your students from that particular class. And so you have 3 ways, again, that you can add those members to your group. And then once you've added members to the group, you can create a topic or a prompt. So that's that discussion question that you're going to create. And after you've done that, you're going to share your code for students to access the topics and then for them to start creating content on that particular group in Flipgrid. And so once you log in as an instructor, what you'll see on your dashboard. So we just went over the steps, the general steps, and Flipgrid frames it as 4 easy steps to start your discussions in your classroom. And so we just went over that. So what will you see in there that will allow you to create this discussion? So when you log into your account, you're going to see the dashboard where you can create those new groups. You're going to see any groups that you may have previously created, all topics that were created from all of your groups. There's a tab for that. You can access your profile settings so that you can change your settings as necessary. And then there's a discovery tab. So, you know, we're not about reinventing the wheel all the time. So there is a tab where you can explore and use topics that were created by the Flipgrid community. So if you're looking for inspiration, you can go to that discovery tab, search, and then maybe find a Flipgrid that you want to implement in your groups or class. And then they have another feature called Shorts, and Shorts allow you to create enrichment videos that you can share with your students. So these are things like screen recordings, explanation videos, or even personal messages. Those are examples of Shorts. And we're not going to actually go too much in detail into Shorts today, but basically you can create a short using the same features of the discussion video. So you're using the same video features. It's just that you're not creating a discussion. It's more like if you're familiar maybe with like Screencastify and those kind of programs where you're recording content for enrichment purposes for them to review, to watch, kind of supplemental, but not necessarily facilitating a discussion. So they have Shorts, and that's their version of that. And so now let's talk about how students will join into your group. So you have created your account, you've created your group, you've created your topic, and now you've added members and you want the students to join in, because the members have to be added before the students can actually access your group and access your topics. So once you've created your group and added the students as members, then they can access the Flipgrid by either clicking a hyperlink that will take them directly to where they will log in and use the information that you've provided them, the login information, or they can scan the QR code, same thing. It will take them directly to the Flipgrid and they will log in using what you've provided, or they can enter a unique join code. And so that's like if you go to flipgrid.com, on the main page, it says enter a join code. And if you've provided that to your students, they would enter that code and then again, enter in the username that you have provided for them. All of these access options are actually generated by Flipgrid. So you don't have to create the link. You don't have to create a QR code. It's all right there in Flipgrid for you to use and then distribute to your students or members as you see appropriate. So I'm just going to take a moment here to pause and see if we have any questions so far, just in the overall functioning or features of Flipgrid. So feel free to raise your hand or let me know in the chat. Yes, yes.
I have a question, or it's more clarification.
Okay.
Only because it's been so long since I've used Flipgrid. Like we're talking at least a year and a half, if not longer, and everything changes so quickly. So you said that you have to put the members in before they can access your Flipgrid now. Is that correct?
Yes. And so you're right, because just like you, I do have a grid that was created, I would say maybe about a year or more ago, and it says public. But I can't make a public one anymore. They're all private. I have to add my members. And then once they're added in as a member, then I can give them the code that they can access. And actually, when you're in Flipgrid and say you haven't added any members and you go to try to share your links, it's going to tell you nobody can access it yet because you don't have any members added.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you know why they did that? I'm guessing it's a security reason.
I would imagine so.
Disappoints me though. I just feel like it was easier to do that way, but it's probably a security reason, I'm sure. All right, well, that's good to know though. Thank you.
Yes, no, that was a good question. Go ahead.
And also, Ryan, we have another question from Michelle. Michelle Vick says, hi, Michelle. She says, where have you seen students struggle to get onto Flipgrid once you send them a link or code? Just wanting to anticipate where problems might be. So that's one question. And then another real short question was the shorts. That sounds so funny. The video shorts. How long are the shorts? How long are the video shorts? And Tiffany said 10 minutes. Can you confirm that?
Yes, Tiffany is correct. So the
All
maximum video length is 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. So back to Michelle's question.
Yes.
Where have you seen students struggle to get onto Flipgrid?
I like this question because it's like right there in my presentation towards the end, but I'm glad you're asking this because it is important to kind of think ahead about what speed bumps or hurdles that we could encounter with our students. So there is a level of accessibility that's pretty easy. So when if you're in person with class or even virtually, if you're able to put that link, hyperlink in the chat, or you're able to put that link on the board, or even if your students are familiar with QR codes, the access part is fairly easy getting to the website. Even if they just typed in flipgrid.com, they can get to where they need to log in. So in that part, maybe it would depend like what is that digital comfortability, I would think. So literacy and comfortability of your students. So are they comfortable accessing? You might find a hurdle if there's hesitation or a little timidness in there. But as far as the accessing, I mean, it's in it itself has not been an issue so much. Yes, digital literacy skills. Yes, I hope that answers your question, but I do have it in here and I want to come back to it because definitely after you have had more of that demo, I think that we can reflect more on that question again and think about your experience as you go through it and see, okay, well, what maybe tripped me up or what would I struggle on, and still anticipating that for your students. So, but for the most part, our students are familiar mostly with internet usage, using a link at the very basic, but using a QR code or even entering a code, they're able to do that with no problem. So now let's talk about actually creating a video. And as we go through the features of the video editing, you might be able to identify some similarities to other video applications, like maybe Instagram or even in Zoom, you'll see some similar type video features. And so in this case, whether you're like an absolute beginner of video posting and creating a video, or you even have some previous experience, for Flipgrid, you can really start posting videos immediately. And it's very user friendly. As you can see, there's not a lot of things here. It's pretty simple and kind of straightforward. So what you see on the screen is an image of the video recording window. So this is just a screenshot. And of course, when you're recording the video, that microphone image would be replaced by your actual picture of you recording. But the black bar is what you'll focus on at the bottom. So this is where you're going to find down here the video options. You have video options, you have the effects, and you also have backdrops. And then this circle in the middle is where we tap to record. And so let's just take a minute and talk about these options down here and what they mean in terms of creating a video. So firstly, you have some video options. When you click that button, you have an additional option where you can upload a video, and you'll see an example of that when we do the demo. So not only can you create a video live on the spot, but if you have a previously created video, you can upload that into whatever it is that you're about to post. You can record using the mic only, which is no video. So sometimes, there's no need. Maybe you just need some audio. You can mute the audio if you need to. You could record your screen. So again, kind of like that Screencastify, but recording what's on your screen. So then you can upload it. And then you can change your device settings. So if you're maybe on a computer and you need to change what camera or microphone is being used, things like that. But you can access the device settings under video options. The next one was video effects. So under video effects, you have some additional tools that you can really use to get creative if you're wanting to do that. So filters, you can add filters to kind of change the color effect of photos. So again, filters are very common in photos nowadays. If you are on Instagram and many of those apps, and even if you have a smartphone, sometimes they're built into your smartphone. It's a filter. So it is going to alter the way that you look in that video, most of the time for the better. That's why we're using the filter, right? So it's going to change, give a color effect to your video. Then you have text, where you can add text to your video. So you can add and customize that font of the text that's displayed in your video. There's a pen option where you can write on your image. So maybe you want to circle something or draw something freehand. There's that pen where you can write on the video image. They have what's called a board, and you can add an image as a board. And so when you're in there, and I can show that too, it basically kind of splits the screen or in half, or can split it in half. And think of it kind of like almost a pegboard type thing. So you can be talking on one side, but maybe you have some things or that you want to pin on the other, and you have that board. And so they have some different image options for you to be able to create that board. There's stickers. So again, kind of some Instagram and other social media similarities where you can add stickers or GIFs. I think I always say that wrong. Either one, the cute little moving pictures. A lot of times they're clips taken from some type of video previously. So GIFs, or again, here you have that option to upload your own picture or video to include in what it is that you're about to record. And then lastly, you have a frame. It's just like what it sounds like, a picture frame. It adds a frame around your media. And a lot of them are very colorful, very beautiful. And it adds that element of being able to express your creativity. So that could go along with, depending upon the topic discussion, depending upon what you're trying to make a video about. And of course, your personality. That's where we start talking about giving our students voice as well and empowering them, but to really go forward and to show all of that through the use of these different video effects in what they post. The next option is the video backdrop. And this is where you can change the black background. So again, you've probably seen many of us in Zoom who have these really cool backgrounds, or maybe it's blurred around us, so you can't really see where we are behind us. Those same options are here. So you can change the background, you can make it blurry, you can upload a specific image that maybe you want to use as your background. And then there's also, of course, the pre-made background designs that are within the application that you can choose as well. So if you want to have a different video backdrop, you can change that backdrop. There's no like green screen or any extra tools needed. it works. It just makes another backdrop wherever you are, and then just leaves your image in the video. After you record the video, so now you've gone through those steps, maybe you just recorded a video, you added no effects, no filters, no backdrop, you just shot the video straight away. Great. Or maybe you added some of those features. Great as well. After you've recorded, it's going to ask you, do you want to add more? So maybe you look at it, you watch it, and you think, oh, there's a little bit more that I want to say or that I want to add. There's a button there where you can add some more and add another clip to your video. You can also add music. So you can select from some included music tracks to, again, go for that customization feature, right? Add to your story by putting a musical track to it. And then you can trim your video. So you can cut it down depending upon your length of video, you can trim it as well. And once you've done that, so you've created your video, you've done any final edits that you need to make, your next step is to go in and submit. And it walks you through each one of these screens. So as you just click next, it's going to take you right to the next thing. And so now it's going to ask you to choose a cover image for your video. And so what a cover image is just that still image of your video before it starts to play. So you can set that to whatever you want it to be. You can choose from a frame from within your recording. So maybe there's a specific image in the recording that you just made, and that would be what is the cover image for that particular recording. You can take a selfie if you would like for that to be your cover image, or upload a photo, and also a name tag. And the name tag is just going to be a cute font display of your profile name. So you can't edit it, can't change it. So whatever your name is in your profile, that's what it's going to be. But you do have some options to choose from some preset fonts, if you will. You can add a description to your video if needed. And there's also an option to add a link if that's necessary, and then submit. But at the very basic, going through those steps, if you just hit add response, click that white button to record your video with no edits, with no extra customizations, just record your video, and then you can submit it. That is at the easiest level, introductory level, just for you to be able to post a video. So you can see that there is some levels within this. So maybe levels of comfortability as you get more familiar, as you're able to kind of get more comfortable using it, then you might want to start adding stickers or uploading extra videos or pictures to add to it and really customizing those videos. But whatever the level of your student, whether they are more comfortable with the video posting or whether this is their first time, Flipgrid really, it does make it easy enough that they could post a video and be participating in that discussion immediately.
Ryan, we had a
Yes.
question, and I'm wondering,
Yes.
oh, perfect.
Yes.
I didn't even know that. I didn't
Right
time
on
that, I
time.
promise. I promise I didn't time that. Okay, so the question is, and I thought this was a great question, can this program be accessed by cell phones?
Yes.
We have plenty of students that use their phones because they don't have laptops or desktop computers. So thank you so much for asking that question.
Yes. And the answer is yes. So there is an app that if you have a tablet or a mobile device that you can download the app and access Flipgrid the same way. It would ask you for that join code or that link or a QR code. So if you scan it and open it to the app, either way, you can open that app on your mobile device and join into the Flipgrid, that group that you've created.
And then we have another great question. And Michelle, thanks again for joining us. And we are getting ready to do that. Michelle asks, great features, great presentation. Could you provide a demonstration of how these features work? That's coming up, Michelle. So that's coming up. And then Michelle says, do you have to download the app for it? No, you do not. You can just put it in the web browser, right? Okay. Or can they do it from a web browser? So yes, you can do it just from your web. And Ryan's going to be demonstrating that shortly. And then Robert asks, does adding music track mix does adding a music track mix existing audio? If you are doing a screen capture, can you have audio?
Yes, so that audio is going to come basically over whatever audio is already in the video. So the music, I mean. So yeah, if you have audio from whatever's in the video that you've recorded and then go ahead and add a music track, it's going to overlay and go with all of that. So hopefully if you're adding music, it kind of makes sense, not that it would drown out anything that is already audio within that video. Yes. And so, yes, we are going to go live into the app. So that way you guys are so on it. We're going to go right into it and take a look at the application. So now we did that talk through, just talking through the features and kind of understanding the functionality of Flipgrid. And so now let's transition actually into Flipgrid. And so you can see all that we just talked about. So when you go to flipgrid.com, this is the main page. And as you can see, as you talked about the accessibility for your students. If they're able to get to this website, they can enter the join code that you provide them. So just being able to get to the website, they can get here and join in and start participating. This is also where you will sign up as an educator. So when you want to create your new account, just click sign up. And then again, you have those options to log in through Google or to log in and create a user through another email address if you need to. So I'm going to log in. And once I log in, this is the dashboard. So as we talked about your dashboard, you'll be able to see previously created Flipgrids and be able to create, groups and create new groups as well. So that's what you'll see. So let's just start from the top and kind of work our way down. So we talked about groups and that's here. And then we talked about discovery. So remember saying that if we need that inspiration, we can go over to discovery and maybe find a topic that we're interested in and see what previously has been created in the Flipgrid community. So not reinventing the wheel every time. And you can do that. You can bookmark it if you find one so that you can use it for later. And then you can also add it to a specific group if you're ready to use it now. So you have that discovery. And then we talked about shorts, right? So say it with that Flipgrid camera. So you're using the features of the Flipgrid camera, but in this case, you're not using them to create a discussion, but you're trying to deliver some enrichment information. So that can be a screen recordings, a how-to, or you're showing something, you're sending some kind of encouraging message, anything like that. It's just a short video that you're just creating, but not a discussion. And then again, your profile details. So there's my little avatar, and you can have some other options here regarding your profile. So let's go back to the groups tab. So this is, like I said, our main dashboard page when you log in, and you can see that I've created 3 groups so far, and that's the name of the group. So for this one today, we have that Flipgrid Tech and Tell, and some previously created groups was an ESL class and another distance learning ESL course. Under the topics tab, what you're seeing here are all of the topics that have been created under all of those classes. So you see the Flipgrid Tech and Tells, my morning ESL topics, and those other distance learning ESL topics. So all of the topics you've created are here because you might have a topic that you want to use in another class if you're teaching multiple classes and go and find it. So you just have your tools to see everything that has been created and navigate to what it is you want to find. So if you're creating a group, a new class of students, you're going to click the blue button in the top right to create that group. A lot of customizable features here. But again, if you just want to get up and going, you don't have to worry about that. So this image here, you can edit this image to be something else, more relatable to your class or what have you, or you can just leave it. So we can move on to naming our group. And this is going to be a sample group. And then, as I mentioned, we need to add some members. So you have to choose one of these options to add some members. So either that's that email or domain. It's the username where you're entering in that student first name and last name and then giving them a username, something that you've created that you'll generate. And then there's a template. So it's just an Excel, a CSV file. So you just create those 3 columns and it gives you that template and you could fill it in. So say if you wanted to upload your full class of 25, 30 students at once, instead of entering in one by one, you have that option as well. So you can create that username, first name, last name, and create a username. Or you can add them through your Google Classroom. So if you do have Google Classroom, and that's what you use to manage your classes, you can connect it. And so here I have an account that's connected, and I can select from any of my classes to add them to this particular sample group if I wanted to. So your 3 options. And so you'll have to determine which of those options is going to be best for your specific situation and your group of students, which one of those access options that or adding members is going to be, the best for you. Once you do that, you're going to create the group. Now I'm going to click create group, and it's going to tell me I haven't added any members. And so before I can start sharing, I'll have to add members to access this group. And that goes back to the question that Ashley asked earlier. And I do believe that is a security measure that has been implemented here within the past, I guess, maybe year or so. But I'll do this later. So now we've created a group, this sample group. And once you create that group, it does have just a little templated topic that's already in there. You can keep it, you can delete it, or you can edit it. It's up to you. Or if you wanted to create a new topic. So let's create a new topic, and just clicking that blue button, add topic, and whatever you want the topic to be. So maybe we're going to discuss some poetry, right? And maybe there's a specific poetry or poet that you've been studying in class, and you want to ask them some guiding questions to kick off that discussion. You would type that here. You can add a link, a hyperlink. So maybe there's some video or attachment that you want them to refer to, or a document of the poetry that you want them to refer to before they start making their videos. But you have all of that ability to customize what you want that topic discussion or that prompt to look like. And again, you can add some media to go along with that prompt. So you can add an image, you can record a video. Your video could be a demonstration of what you would expect them to do in terms of their response. It could be anything that you want to express, again, to help them really participate in this discussion. You could use a Bitmoji, GIF, stickers. Again, just customizable options for you to add onto that topic discussion. So YouTube's, or even uploading another video that you might have. And we talked about the recording time. So you can set how long you want students to record, the maximum amount of time their video to be. So if you want them to have just a standard 2 minutes, which is default, or it's really lengthy and they need to have a 10-minute analysis of this poetry. It's whatever you determine is necessary for that particular topic. Okay, so it can be down to just 15 seconds, something short and sweet, all the way to 10 minutes is the recording times that you can set. And then once you do that, you're going to save that topic. Oh, let me come back up here before we save it. I want to point out the settings. So we're under the details, and we created the details of our topic. There are settings that you can also manage for that topic. Okay. So a couple of settings that I want to point out to you, and this is one that may be used more so in a K-12 environment, just because, you may not know what's being posted, but you can moderate the videos and comments, which means they have to be approved by you before they're actually live to the feed. Okay. So you can moderate if necessary. You can change how the students can comment on videos. Can they comment on their peers' videos with video and text, video or text only, or no comments, just only the initial responses, and you don't want them commenting on each other's video? You can make that customization. You can also customize some other parts of that, like, do you want to allow likes on videos? Sometimes likes might be a little bit, a popularity contest, and if you feel like that would hinder what's going on in your class, then maybe you turn that off. Maybe you turn off view count, because those things can also do that. It just really depends on, your student base and what you want for that particular topic or activity and how you want that. Again, some tools. Do you want them to be able to have all of those tools when they're doing those videos? And maybe you have a topic where you don't want any filters and stickers and all of that, where it's more of a professional topic and you want to turn those off, turn them off. you can do that. So I just want to point out that you do have those customizations that you can make in the settings, but whatever you choose, once you choose it, then you would save to your group. And now you've created a group. So now we can get started. If we had students or members in this particular group, then we could go ahead and share our code and let them start responding to our topic. But this is just a demo of how you would do that. And so now I'm going to go into the one that we're actually work on, and that's the Flipgrid Tech and Tell. And then you can see what's there. So this is what I've created. I've created a demo. Let me go back to it. That's the demo. And again, an introductory video that's shared and some sample student responses that have been posted. And some things that you can do here from the teacher side, say for instance, you really like that video, you want to save it, you can download that video, you can download their cover image, you can reorder the responses, so dragging and moving them if you want them in a certain order, you can do that as well. So you can kind of manage the student responses again from your dashboard. And if you would like to see what it looks like from your student or member perspective, at the top you'll see member view. And then this is what it looks like. And this is that same screenshot that you saw earlier of the member view. So again, my video here introducing the demo and what I would like for you to do, where you as a participant can add a response, and then the 3 videos that have been posted so far. Okay, so you can see all of that from within in the dashboard. And really, like I said, it's really friendly enough that you can have students up and using that pretty much immediately, if you will. So I'm going to pause here again and just kind of ask me any questions maybe that you have over being in it and seeing it, or something that I didn't cover that I did talk about though.
While we're waiting, I had asked a question way back up about how does this compare to TikTok? And I think TikTok is doesn't have all of these instructional features, does
Right.
it? I don't know. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not like a big TikTok user.
I'm not either,
but
so I wasn't sure. But I think that's just more to post videos.
Yes.
Ashley, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, they're not comparable.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's public. There's no code or anything like that. You just get the app and
Got
then you
it.
sit there and it's an addiction, to be honest.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions. Tiffany made a very good comment. She said, Flipgrid is good for monthly check-in or assessment for oral speaking lessons. I thought that was a very good point.
I do want to move into the demo because I think that, for me, I'm a hands-on learner. So now I want to touch it. I want to feel it, so I want to give you guys that opportunity to do the same thing. So we're going to join a group.
Does it matter if you're in Chrome? I don't think so. It's
No.
probably good you are in Chrome
Yes.
with this Zoom, Vernetta. That is the preferred browser for Zoom, just FYI. So Chrome is where you need to be.
Yeah.
So good question. Tiffany asks another good question. Is the group private? I tried searching for the group in my dashboard and it did not come up.
It does. It is. It does say private. It doesn't say a public group. It is private.
Yeah.
But in relation to Chrome, a lot of applications are optimizing their use for Chrome. So, I mean, Chrome right now just seems to be universally better. Zoom and all of these other platforms, they kind of optimize to be able to function in Chrome. So to me, it's always better. I prefer Chrome anyway. Okay, so your next step is to enter a username. So what I did is created some unique usernames. And at this point, it's not going to matter if more than one of you is using the same username. So what I'm just going to tell you is choose one of these names on the right and then log in with that name. So you can be S Fox, G Fish, R Bird, O Cow, W Bear, Y Cat, or P Deer. It doesn't matter. Just choose one of those to log in. And then again, give me a thumbs up once you are in and you see that dashboard, that member dashboard.
I can't see the usernames. Can you just give me one?
YCAT, YCAT,
Space.
no space, all lowercase.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next step. So once you've logged in, you should see that topic, TNT Flipgrid demo. So you're looking at this now from a participant or student perspective. And so you'll see at the top of the page, the name, that dashboard, you see the name of the group, which is the Flipgrid Tech and Tell. You'll see the topics that I have now, 2 topics, because remember we created a sample, but we're going to go into the topic of TNT Flipgrid demo. And you'll see there are 3 videos posted in that topic. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take about 7 minutes to watch the 5 sample videos that have been posted. So there's a welcome video at the top. That's the video explaining, and it says, welcome to my Flipgrid demo. Then there are 3 response videos from sample student. And then there's a video comment on the 3rd response. So there are a total of 5 videos that are in there to watch. They're super short. And so I'm going to ask you to go in there and watch them, and then at least like or add 1 text comment to a video. So you can like, so find that reaction or emotion button, like, or add a text comment, because one of them does ask a question, and I'm interested to see who is able to answer my little quiz questions.
All right, as people are doing this, 2 questions came in. Tiffany
Yes.
asked text comment or video comment, and Michelle asks, I only see 4 videos.
Yes. So you'll see the 4. And then on video number 3, there is a comment response to that video, and it's a video response. So there's 3 posts, 3 initial posts that are made to the discussion prompt. And then under the 3rd video, it's a comment on that video, and the comment is a video as well. So you'll see 5 of them. So when you click that video and open it and scroll down, you'll see that 5th video is there. And it's a text comment, please. So for this first one, just a text comment, just a text comment.
Hey, Ryan,
Yes.
I have a question. So when I'm looking at your last one, the one that you posted as a video comment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about the building,
Mm-hmm.
are we supposed to be able to comment on that? Or do I just comment where it says add a text comment?
Yeah, and that's what I would like for you to do this first time, is go ahead and add a text comment. So on any of the videos, yes, choose
But-
one. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I wasn't very clear. So when you look at your last one and then it takes me to the New York thing,
This one.
and then you comment about where do you think this building
Uh-huh.
is, or what show
Uh-huh.
is this from? It doesn't look like I can comment under there. That's why I was wondering, are we supposed to be able to?
And a comment. I think your comment is still going to come here to the main video.
To
So
the top?
yes,
Okay.
because that's the only place you're gonna.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And you know, Ryan, when we're done, this may not be the best time. Can you talk about the immersive reader? I see something that's really neat here for special ed, our special ed students. So if we have time, I think
Okay.
that would be great to go over with everybody, because that's a wonderful feature that I believe is new too, right?
Yes.
They
yes.
didn't always have that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, immersive readers. Yes. So I'm going to ask us to come back together and talk about what we just saw. Okay. So as you watched and you progressed through the videos, what difference did you notice in terms of the level of video effects? What level of, yes. You added stuff. Yes, yes, I did. I did. So from that first sample student video, yes, like text and video pictures, that first sample student post was a straight post that answered the prompt, but it didn't have a lot of editing text or stuff, added to it. Absolutely. Thank you, Tiffany. So in terms of thinking about our students, fluffy stuff, I like that, fluffy stuff. With no added features. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as you saw the other videos, I did integrate some of those additional features. So in the second video, you see that my cover photo, my cover image was an uploaded image of me and my dear Winston. I also included an additional image in the video response that I was giving you to show you who Winston was and even put his name in text on the video. So adding a little bit more. And then to the third video, I uploaded a previously recorded video. So that was a video that I took a couple of months ago. I added that to share and respond to the post. So I'm now giving you more visual of where I've been or what I like to do. And then I was able to add an additional clip, adding more to really talk about what I had just shown you. So you can start to think about how you would apply that to the varying levels of digital literacy with your students and that comfortability in your students. So again, if those are more hesitant to try those things, a little apprehension, they can still post the video and they are fully participating. They are fully able to share their voice or give their response to the prompt. And then maybe a differing level or comfortability of literacy, they're adding more of that fluff, more of those features, more of that customization, but you know where your students are, everybody's participating. And then of course you can encourage and build their digital literacy levels as they continue to participate in the discussions. Okay, were you able to add a text, comment, or like a video? Were you able to find the ability to do that? Yes, okay, I see a yes, I see yes. Good. So now let's take some time and I'm going to ask you to submit a video response. So it's your choice. You can you can record the video with audio only. If you don't want to be on camera, that's perfectly fine. Remember, under the options, you can just do audio only. Or if you're happy to be on camera and just make a quick video saying, hi, my name is, and then what it is you like to do in your free time, I want you to share that. But either way, and in that time, if you feel comfortable enough adding some fluff, adding some customization, a sticker or anything to it, I want you to do that. And then let's see what is now in our topic feed, in our discussion feed. I still see a couple coming in. There we go. Okay. Oh, good. Yay. Very good. Okay. So we have a few videos posted, and if you're still wrapping up, go ahead and hit submit and add your video to the feed. But as you can see, this is what it will look like as your students continue to respond to whatever the discussion prompt is. So I would just like to play maybe a video or two just to highlight what we have here. And again, you know, we're talking about the various levels of our students and talking about potential troubleshooting. So things that we can kind of talk about and think about as we move forward. But let's see kind of what we have.
And Ryan, before we
Okay.
do that real quick, if we have a few minutes, Michelle said I couldn't record the video or edit it. Could you demo the process? So if we have
Sure.
a little time, maybe
Sure.
after you show some of these.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with Tiffany's. She's right there in the center.
Hello.
And then it's going to just play the next one in there. And I think that's Ashley.
What does that mean?
Happy Halloween.
All right, and let's see what we have next. Oh, I see. Yes, you were saying that there's an audio disconnect, but you've got the video. You do have an understanding. So it's just a little troubleshooting, making sure that you can get your audio, but you were there. So thank you for submitting. Thank you.
And Tiffany says she has a longer one too, if you want to try that one too later on. But the one for the travel one is longer, she says, if you want to show that
Oh,
one.
okay. Okay. Let's do one more.
I have a broken arm.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hope you have healing swiftly. Okay, so let's go down. You said there was a response to the travel video. Let me pause that. And Tiffany made a response to my video. So I did ask a question. And so now she's responding. And
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I like to go to the mountains and I like to do art projects in my free time.
Awesome. Awesome. So another one. You're in space. Let's play you.
Hi, Ryan. I also like to travel. This is a picture of me when I went to the International Space Station. It was lots of fun. I can't wait to go back.
Cool. How cool is that? So yes, so you're seeing examples of how that discussion is developing, right? So we're just doing a sample topic, but thinking about real topics that you are integrating into your lessons and into your classrooms to facilitate discussion, in allowing the student to use their voice and their expression to do that. So there's some text responses, responding to my question that I've asked. And again, it just goes on and on to continue and facilitate that discussion. So anything in the mountains with the stream beside it. Yes, good. Good. Okay, so let me pop back because I do want to address the question of how you create a video. So let me come here. I'm going to add a response. And I don't know if, we'll see how my camera does with me being sharing screen and all that. Are you still able to see that loading?
Yep, we can see
Okay.
loading. Mhm.
Okay. And there I am. Do you see me on the camera?
Yes, this is so cool.
All
Oh my
right.
goodness.
So again, this is your recording window, those options that we talked about. So if it's mic only, if we need to mute myself, recording the screen, device settings, if I'm uploading an additional clip, those options, any effects that I would like to add, text, pin, any of these available. And you saw some examples from your peers. Or if I needed to change the backdrop of where I am. I won't go too fancy because I feel like I got a lot going on here, but just in the shooting of the video, you'll click this circle here. You have a countdown. And hello, I am recording a sample video for you to see how you can post a video. And then that's it. If I didn't like it, you have the red X. Maybe I need to shoot that over. But if I like it, we're going to click next. And hello, I am recording a sample video for you to see how you can post a video. And then, so any edits I need to make, if I want to add music or not, you click next. Again, adding those cover photos if I want to customize it even further, but if not, submit.
Ryan, is there a music library or do you have to upload your own music?
There is a music library.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes. And that would be posting a video without any, like I said, extra text or anything, but that is how you post a video. So now that I'm done, we should see that video now in our feed that I just made in response.
All right, so this is a great time for this next question. Michelle, thank you.
Mhm.
Michelle Simmons says, how do you edit a video?
Good question. So again, so you saw that screen. It was the one before you were choosing your cover. Those are your editing options and any tools in there. So if you need to add a clip, like we said, if we didn't, maybe I needed to add some more or say some more to what I recorded, I can add more. Or if the video is long and I need to trim, you'll see options there where you can trim it down as well before you go into the actual submitting of the video.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Yes.
I appreciate that demo, but on the actual edit part where it was cutting, slicing, I tried that piece and I couldn't get that to work. It completely wiped out my video and my presentation altogether. So I'm not understanding how that edit splicing piece of the video or the recording actually works. If you could demonstrate that, that would be great, please.
I don't think I have a long enough video because these are
mine was only like a minute or 2 minutes or less, and
to get the option. I don't think any of these videos are that long as well. Let's see if I can.
Is there a Flipgrid tutorial on YouTube about how to edit a Flipgrid?
Everything's on YouTube.
Everything
Exactly.
is on YouTube. Absolutely.
Ashley, of course there is.
I believe in the edit phase, you have to click the video in order to edit to a certain splicing stuff,
Mhm.
because you can delete the clip or make it shorter or longer.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can record it long enough that it shows those editing tools, because those couple little seconds.
Let's get started with Flipgrid. It's simple, and we're here to support you. First,
Well, also
this
they
is long
have
enough.
like a whole getting started page right on their first page. Here, I'll drop that in the chat.
So yeah, that's where I was, right there, Ryan. In that section there. And it told me I had like you could move it down, or it had two different sections where you could edit it. And it's like, I wanted, basically, how can I delete a piece of it? Is it by moving those blue bars?
Yes.
How you delete it?
Mhm.
Okay.
You're seeing that we're just cutting that clip down to the piece that we want. So yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And then
So
confirming.
you're moving the bars with the blue. You got to be on the blue to move it back and forth.
Move it back and forth,
Okay.
and that reduces the video to where you want it.
Yes.
Okay. Because yeah, I ended up moving it, and then all of a sudden everything completely disappeared, and I'm like, I didn't know what happened. I'm like, what in the world?
So you moved it too fast, Michelle.
Okay.
You went all the way to the beginning and poof, it was out.
Yes.
So that's what happened. I
Okay.
think.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Keep asking your questions. I'm just going to move forward just for the sake of time, but keep asking them in the comments. And we did that. We made our own video. So just talking about the benefits, and now that you've kind of had that hands-on experience and maybe kind of shot through your own, issues and questions, kind of thinking about your students and how would you implement this program into your lesson plans or into your classroom. So how could you use it to empower your student voices, and where do you need to do that? How could you inspire creativity in your students, and where do you need to do that in your lessons, or integrating those digital literacy skills and using this type of platform to accomplish all of these things? And ultimately, creating an interactive and engaging type learning experience. And then just a few ideas that Flipgrid has been used for literary discussions. We talked about that, career exploration, demonstrations, cultural exchange, language practice, math, problem solving, and talking through those things. And so these are just a few examples of classroom ideas where you can really use Flipgrid to kind of facilitate discussion and allow the students to integrate their creativity along with that, so they're learning at the same time. And so I'm hoping that we can have a part 2, because there's so much about Flipgrid we can just see, even just in learning and getting up on into using it, but then going into the actual application and digging a little bit deeper once we have more of a familiarity with the application, but digging deeper. So I'm hoping that will happen, and when it does, I'm sure Anne-Marie, or if it does, she'll let us all know so that we can continue our journey with the classroom discussions. Thank you, Tiffany. She says you can just use it as a recording tool because you can download the video. Wakelet has. Would you like to? Yes, yes. Integrating those tools together is so wonderful. All the tools that you use, Google Classroom, Wakelet, all of those, if they integrate, it's so easy to use them together. And then when you talk about the ease of access for students, it's easier to help get them up onto the platforms when they are integrated and have those easier links of access and all of that.
I want to thank everybody again, and wonderful job, Ryan. So on behalf of Train PD, thank you so much. And I want to thank Ashley for joining us today and helping out. And I appreciate everybody. So take care, everybody. And till next time.